Other way to say it, it wasn't his thing. He didn't want to use his hands on defense. He didn't want to really block. And he came to me after his sophomore year and he said, why don't you give me a chance at running back? So in your mind, you kind of already have it made up about what a kid plays. And if you look at him, he's built like a lineman. And I thought, well, I'm not really getting anything out of him on the line, so let's try it. And Donovan was right. He's running back. And he's going to go to college and play running back. He liked to run with the ball. He's got big hands, so he secures the ball well. He runs behind his pads really well. He's a lot quicker than you might think he is. He learned his plays really quickly. He ran really, really hard. And our whole offense went through this guy. And I didn't have any problem after I figured it out. This guy was a definite threat for us every Friday night to take it to the house and to make the other team honest. Again, great personality. I'm really, really going to miss him. I remember meeting him for the first time when he was an 8th grader at our youth camp, and I thought, that kid's going to be special someday. And I was right. I just had him in the wrong position, and it took his wisdom to come tell me, hey, let me try something different. And I'll always remember that about Donovan, and he probably knew more about himself than I did, and that's usually the case. This guy's going to be successful whatever he does, comes from a great family, and is just a real leader in our school. Very quiet kid, but a lovely human. Donovan Motley. Melvin Call. Melvin came out of football his senior year, and I love Melvin. He came every day with a smile on his face, tried hard, and if something didn't work, he just tried something different. We moved him around positions a couple times. At the end of the year, we had him kicking some. He tried to play some defensive line. He's a great wrestler. Looking for him on WWE maybe someday. No? I don't know. Melvin's another one with a wonderful personality. Just came and gave it everything he had. And even when he wasn't getting to play much, he jumped over on the scout team. And even as a senior knew that was what it was going to be. But I think he thoroughly enjoyed it, and I've thoroughly enjoyed coaching him. Unfortunately, I haven't had him in class, but my wife speaks highly of him. Says he's a wonderful person and a great kid, and I know that to be true too. Going to be missed. Melvin Call. Caleb Smith. Caleb played wide receiver for us and has started for 2 years. We wound up moving him to defense, and we were trying to go platoon and try to keep our kids fresh as we could, and we were really running out of defensive backs. So it was one of those things where we don't want to kill him and play him the whole game, but he's probably going to be a better defensive player, so we moved him around. Caleb is another one with a great attitude, came every day, did everything we asked him to do. He was a matchup problem for a lot of people because of his height. I was super excited and super proud of him in basketball. They won the 2nd district championship in the history of the school this year. Caleb was a big part of it, so I was ecstatic that those guys got some success, and he was a big part of that. Caleb came into football a little bit later than a lot of kids did, and he picked it up quickly. I coached his older brother, and he kind of brought him along with him, and it was one of those things where it stuck. Caleb came out with a great attitude and did everything he could every day. He's going to be missed. He was a big part of us this year. Caleb Smith. James Fraley. James, I remember watching play in middle school years ago and thinking this kid's got a lot of potential. He was always that big kid on the team. He really, really picked it up this year. And he had some injuries that we battled through in the last couple of years, but he came back and he had a great senior year. And people would always mention Donovan when they talked to me and James Fraley. I don't know how many times I've heard number 77 is really, really good. James just had a great year. He was kind of quietly getting things done because he played right in the middle of our defense quite often. You didn't necessarily notice him. He wasn't making a big stack, but he was plugging that line up, doing his job, coming to work every day. He got a lot better, and I think James got a bright future. He's finally got life figured out, and he's going to do some good things, and I'm proud of him. James Fraley. I have bragged on Bryson Garrison Kelly more than anybody on this team. I actually gave him his, on recognition day, I got to talk about him. I talked about him on signing day, so this is the 3rd time in about a month I've talked about Bryson. I say that with a smile on my face because I love this kid. He comes every day and does exactly what you said. We've got some of the quietest kids I have ever coached. You literally have to poke and prod to get a word out of him. When he's in that group, just don't say much. Bryson's got a scholarship. He's going to play football next year at Thomas More. Once again, I told you about injuries. We were rolling on Paintsville. This guy gets dumped on his head. They wound up taking him in an ambulance off the field. Fortunately, it wasn't serious. He comes back, but it did hurt us in that game. It wasn't his fault, but just one of those things that happened. But Bryson had a great year on both sides of the ball. Wound up playing some wing back for us and some defensive back. And I know that Thomas Moore is getting a great football player. Bryson Garrison Kelly. DJ Jones. DJ has been an absolute pleasure to coach, and one of the low lights of the season, and this is one of the lowest moments, is I found out he was injured. He's going to miss some significant time. And I mentioned earlier that we had injuries on both sides of the ball. This was going to be our go-to guy on defense. He was going to call our defense, set us up, give us the right checks, put us in the right position. He had the experience, had the confidence to run the defense, and he came up with some problems in his arches that I've never heard of. And we were trying to get surgery. I was talking to his parents on a daily basis, and we were getting updates from doctors and x-rays, and we were using orthotics, and they were pulling out everything we had. We were throwing everything we had, trying to get him back out. And then after we got him healthy, then there was some rehab time. And so he missed a significant part of this season, and it was really upsetting to me to see this kid work so hard, to have worked so hard throughout his career for his senior year, and then because of an injury that doesn't necessarily happen all the time for it to be taken away. But DJ did a great job when he was out there, and we were a much, much better defense when he was in the mix. He's going to be a great person in whatever he decides to do. He's got a lot of success in front of him. He's been a real pleasure to coach, and maybe someday this guy's the type of guy you want on your coaching staff. So DJ, I'm inviting you to come back and coach someday. All right, DJ Jones. Kicker, John Alverson. John's going to be one of the best. He's going down in history as one of the best that's ever been here. I'm going to say probably the best kicker we've ever had in school history, and I've coached most of them. John was second team, honorable mention All-State this year, Courier-Journal, which puts him amongst probably the best 10 kickers in the state, which probably makes him the best in the school history. He was automatic, did not miss a kick this year, and that's hard to do when you consider that there's different field conditions, different, they're rushing to block it, and they're trying to get it. There's nerves, and there's definite risk reward on the line for kicking the ball. John came through, and he came to work every day. I never had to say, hey, you need to go practice. He was always telling me, hey, where's the balls, where's the kicking tee? I want to kick some more, get in some work. John's going to move on to play soccer next year at Georgetown College, and I know that they're getting a great person, a great player. I'm sure he's great at soccer. If he's half as good as he is at football, which if they picked him, I'm sure he is. But John's another one that was so easy to coach this year and going to be greatly missed. John Alverson. Jaden Campbell. Jaden, for the second year in a row, was second team All-State, which, if you do the math, they only picked 5 linemen first team and 5 linemen second team. And I'll be honest, I think Jaden was only second team because we were not a state championship caliber team. We didn't make the finals. Had we been in the Final Four, the final game, he probably would have been first team. It's a little bit of a popularity contest. But without that said, that makes him one of the 10 best offensive linemen in the state of Kentucky. And I'm so proud of him in the season he's had. I'll never forget that phone call that his mom called and said, I got a big son that's transferring from West to East. And that was a life-changing moment for our program, and I appreciate him coming over here and joining us. Another one I've bragged on before, Jaden had a signing here at school a couple months ago, and we've got him going to Hugh Pike, where I expect him to be a starter within the first 2 years anyway, maybe first day he's there. Jaden's got that ability that you just cannot coach. He's got the ability to turn it off and turn it on, and when you see him, he's going to smile, and he's going to be laughing, and he's going to be jovial. And when he puts a helmet on, it's like he becomes the Hulk, and he tries to kill people. And when you watch personality in the hallway, and then you watch his personality on the field, it's like that's a different person. But that's what you got to have. You got to have that switch. We talk about turning that switch on and be that aggressive player and get after it. And this guy did it. Number of pancake blocks over the last 2.5 seasons was probably a school record. He just destroyed people up front. But one of the reasons we ran the ball so well here for the last several years is because of kids like him. And Jake will be irreplaceable, not just missed, but I don't think you're going to find one of the top 10 linemen laying around every day. This guy's going to do great things in college, and I got his back from here until forever. Jake Campbell. Most of these guys up here that I ever coach, I don't really know them any other way than maybe when they're 8th graders, I watch them play a little football, but this guy's a little different. I went to church. My family goes to Nicholasville Christian Church, and we've gone to church with the Bocrosses since Derek was a little kid. I've seen him grow up immensely in more ways than one. I've watched this kid be in Christmas plays and Easter plays, and so Derek's always had a little bit of a special place in my heart. I don't think anybody probably picked up on that as much as I yelled at him and screamed at him and got after him. I treated him more like a son than I did a football player at times. But Derek had a great year, and he's a phenomenal long snapper. He had a great season at tight end. He wound up playing a lot of linebacker for us late in the season, and he's going to be greatly missed. And when you watch a kid grow up from getting that phone call from his dad saying, "Can you help us because he's done da-da-da-da-da," and and then you watch him finally start to make the right decision and start to do the right thing, and you watch it having success, then that's what coaching's all about. You know, when you take them from where they were to where they are, and they're on their way to doing great things, and that makes you feel good, and you know you've done the right thing for him. Derek's going to the military. I couldn't be prouder of him. He's going to ship off this fall, and I know he's going to make our country proud. I know I'm proud of him. Derek Bocros. Darian Hawkins, forever we've called him Big Slow, but I don't know that he's that big anymore, and maybe he's picked up his pace a little bit. But to give you a little, I've told this story before, but Darian, when he was a freshman, was a really big kid, and the slow part's not him running. He's actually not real slow, but he was late. And when we would run cones in the morning in our July practices, he was like the last kid there, and he was always slow to get to practice. And I forgot his name one day, and I said, "Where's that Big Slow kid?" And it stuck. Everybody laughed. So Big Slow stuck as his nickname, and it really didn't have anything to do with how fast he is running. It was just he showed up late. Darian has been a phenomenal kid to coach. He's super, super intelligent, came with a great attitude. And one of the things that I'm going to tell you about this kid that really stood out to me is his junior year, he didn't get to play much. And I've seen kids get frustrated. We had a phenomenal offensive line, and this kid came every day with a great attitude, asked what can I do to get better, and just kept coming, and kept coming, and kept coming, and kept coming with a great attitude and never complained. And that showed me as much as anything as ever told me about Darian Hawkins, and that when it would have been easy to cry and pout and say, well, I'm getting cheated or I'm getting, messed over by the coaches, he just kept coming with a wonderful attitude and giving it everything he can. He's going to be whatever he wants to be. He's super intelligent, as I mentioned. He's got a great personality, and one that I'm going to say I got his back from now on. Darian Hawkins. All right, seniors, your all's bags are back here. Would somebody from the Darby family want to come get his? Okay. Oh, okay, come on. I got a couple that are trying out football. I'll tell you what, okay, I'll do this. I see what they're doing now. Hang on, guys, pause. All right, our next last senior is going to be Braden Hicks. So pretend this is Braden Hicks. Braden played defensive back for us, played a little bit of wing back, stepped away from football his junior year, came back his senior year, and had a great attitude. Gave it everything he had. He is off trying out cheerleading right now in Kentucky, and just a wonderful person. And I have thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed him. I'm going to miss you guys, and really appreciate all your support. Braden Hicks. All Our last senior is Michael Corey. As I mentioned earlier, the injury bug, it hit us in offense, it hit us in defense, and it hit us in the kicking game. And if you want a heartbreak story, I really went into the season thinking Michael Corey could be a first-team All-State punter, had no doubt. He has a phenomenal leg. He worked extremely hard. He was on our practice field after hours, before hours, punt, 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 punt. In fact, I had to tell him, you gotta quit because you're gonna kick your leg out. Like when you're punting so much that your leg's gonna wear out and not gonna work like it should. You know a kid's working hard. And he got hurt. And he got to punt in one game. And it broke my heart that a kid had worked that hard for that season and it really got to play one game. And that was all the way in Harlan County at the last of the season. But just a phenomenal attitude, came to work every day as a kid that really was a big part of our program. And Angela, I want to thank you for everything you've done for us and everything your son's done for us and everything your family's done for us. Okay, so he's at Western with the cheer team. But our last senior, Michael Corey. All right, you guys can go have a seat. Oh yeah, Connor Darby. I better not forget Connor Darby. I'm gonna get Connor Darby. Yeah. Did you get his bag? Okay. One more senior that can't be here for reasons that are going to give you the chills. Connor Darby's a Marine, and he's going to graduate, and that kind of tears me up. He's going to graduate May 21st from the Marine Corps, and I can't tell you how proud I am. I'm proud of these kids, but then there's another level of seeing a kid defend our country and do what he's going to do. Connor was our quarterback, played defensive back, was a starter for 2 years for us, and we moved him over to offense this year. And Connor's just an amazing person, and to see him in the military doesn't surprise me at all. Just know that if we've got guys like him defending our borders, we're going to be fine. But Connor was the true heartbeat of our team. Never complained, never questioned anything we did. And the one thing about being quarterback, when you're playing, and you see, watch the games, you see the quarterback, but the quarterback's got to be the ultimate leader. Because everybody at huddle was looking at that one guy, and I knew going into the year we had the right guy picked. And he had a really good season. He's going to be greatly missed, and I can't tell you how proud I am. Connor Darby. You guys can have a seat. All right, every year we have 4 awards that we give out to our players that are voted on by the other players. The coaches have nothing to do with this. We literally just tally the votes, count them, and then repeat the winners back. Our first winner is not here tonight, but I'm going to go ahead and mention him. We have what we call the Red Hat All-American. So in practice every day, when you go to the scout team, which is the guys that we practice against, it's our players, but we're using them as kind of like the guys we're getting ready for and whoever we're playing that week. We put these red caps on top of their helmets and they slide on, so we call those guys the Red Hats. And so the Red Hats have to give us a look on the varsity starting team, and it takes a lot of guts to do that because you're going to get hit full speed, probably not going to get to play on Friday night much, if at all, and it's very important that those guys do a good job so that our varsity starters are ready to go. But our kids voted on it this year, and our Red Hat All-American went to Justin Heisel. All right, our next award is leadership. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that this year we did something a little different. COVID kind of caused this, and I don't know that I'm ever going to go back and do it the old way. But we used to give out plaques. And I don't know if any of you adults out there have plaques, but they sit on a wall and they don't do much. And they're kind of just wooden pieces of wall furniture, and they may say something and somebody may squint and look at it, and you ain't gonna get no awe factor out of a plaque. So forever, our school for the last 3 or 4 years has been putting these banners in the hallway. And so I thought, what if we gave out awards with the kids' pictures on it? And the award list Then they can stick it on their wall. They can put it in their living room when they have their own house. They can take it to their dorm. And there will be an awe factor here because it's literally going to be them in action and something they're going to be proud of. So I personally felt like this was going to be a much better gift than the plaque. Our first award goes for leadership. This was who the kids voted on as being the leader of our team, not just physically on the field, but also verbally in the locker room, doing what we needed to do. And this was a really, really good pick. Our leadership award goes to Andre Johnson. Now we have a copy of that exact poster. Show it off to him over there, Andre. A copy of that exact poster is going to go up in the locker room, and I'm going to start a new tradition that when these guys win these awards, they're going to have that same banner hanging up in the locker room for kids in the future to see. I really like that picture. If you see, he's got the hammer in his hand, and he was leading the team on the field, and that's a true sign of a leader. Our next award is the 110% award. This is the award where the kids voted on who went the hardest and gave it everything they had. This goes to a guy who was very well deserving, and we had several guys who went above and beyond, but I think this was definitely a worthy pick for the award. 110% award goes to Xavier Estes. Our last award is the most valuable player, again voted on by our players. I kind of alluded to this earlier that we win as this guy went, and we didn't go when things happened that happened. But the MVP of this season voted on by the players was Tazi Jackson. So we have the blanks. I'll go ahead and show you. There's Xavier's poster that will be hung up in the locker room, hopefully forever. We took the wording off of it because we just wanted the kids to see it. But we've got the same one with Tazi and the same one with Banquet. Angela, do you have anything else?
Remarkable young men, and you all should be very proud of them. You all should be very proud of all your accomplishments and your accolades on the field and off the field. I just can't say enough. Wonderful.
All right, we've got some pictures. I know some parents want to take a picture. I think we want to get a Marine Corps flag up here to honor Connor. Do what? Got something else? Okay, seniors, got something. We're about done. Oh, love it. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. I will definitely put that up for people to see in the office. If you can't see it, it's a football, but on the top half, it's got a white background and it has a picture of every one of the seniors, and it literally is their photo, and so I'll know these guys and remember this class forever. I want to thank you all for coming out today. Our season next year is expected to be more back to normal. I think you'll be able to buy admission at the gate. We would encourage everybody to come back out and watch, and if your son's not playing next year, you've always got a home here. To my seniors, I'll say this again to you multiple times before you graduate. I'm going to see you on graduation day. But if there's anything that I can ever do for any of you all right here, let me know. I still write letters of recommendations for guys who graduated 5 years ago. I'm still giving advice to people who were many years gone from this program. So if you guys ever need anything, I'm here for you. Part of my job as a football coach is to be that father figure you guys need, and just a little bit of help and a mentor anytime you need it. So my door's always open. I want to thank all of you for coming. Make sure you don't leave anything, and have a good day. Thank you.
Aber nein, ich will auch gerne you, Papa.
Eric, get out there. Let me make sure you got on there. Eric, get out there. Get out there in the circle. All right. Come towards me. Somersault. Do 'em. Go. Do your somersault. There you go. Very good.
Don't worry.
Now you're too wild for me. Ta-da. You might be
Can I go to your house?
Huh?
Can I go to your